Hello, I'm Betty, and I'm going to continue reading from my mother's diary from 1954. So I'm going to read from the month of November and try to make it a little bit shorter than some of the others I've done. So let's start with November the 1st, 1954. My mother's 44 years old, has us three little girls at home. I will soon be 9 when she's at this time. I have an older sister that's almost 3 years older and a younger one, 17 months. Both my older brothers are married. Howard has been married 2 years and lives nearby. He had been in the Korean War before that. My other brother, John, is in Bordeaux, France with his wife, Lillian. And in my previous videos, my mother writes about the night Lillian left on the train to go, I think, to New York to catch a ship to Bordeaux, France. So we're going to pick up with November the 1st, 1954. Dear Diary, today has been cold and cloudy. Juanita Oliver came. This morning she thinks she's pregnant again. I have been laying around, no mood to do anything. Dear Diary, today is windy. Some snow flurries this morning. I went to help Mrs. Charles fix meat for sausage and lard. Back then, people made lard and sausage, and they had. I know that wasn't a pleasant thing because my mother was mainly vegetarian, like I am. November 3rd, Dear Diary, today has been fair and cold. Howard and Minnie Ruth came, and Howard's my older brother and his wife, and so they visit often. November the 4th, today I canned apples. Been raining all day. Makes me think of the lonesome days I spent in Ohio. Now, we had lived 1 year in Cleveland, Ohio, when my daddy had needed work, and a lot of the men in our town had moved to Ohio and found jobs. And then Daddy come back and got us, and we lived up there when I was in the 3rd grade. So she's talking about how lonesome she was. Dear Diary, the girls was out of school today for a teacher's meeting. We washed. It was partly cloudy and cold. Billy the bird was mean, pecked Wanda on her mouth. Harold and Norma Lee came tonight. Billy the bird is the little parakeet she bought in Cleveland, Ohio. I think she bought 2 of them, and I don't know what has happened to the other one. But I believe this is the little green one. I'm not sure. I had a bird phobia, so I tried to avoid them when I could. Dear Diary, today is cold and cloudy. Elaine and I went to town. Elaine's my older sister, with Reba this morning. Howard and Minnie came. We drawed names for Christmas. So at that time, we would just draw names and buy a gift for whoever's name we drew, and not buy for everybody in the family. Dear Diary, today was a beautiful day. We went to church. Then Mr. and Miss Johnson came. Mr. and Miss Fight and boys, and our family. We went to Cloudland Canyon, had a lot of fun. Stopped at Eaker's for coats and candy. And I think that's Eaker's, but I don't know where that's at, if it was a store name or what. November the 8th, Dear Diary, today I cleaned house and canned apples. Norma Lee came, brought me some mimosa trees. Charlie set them out. It was a nice warm day. November the 9th, Dear Diary, today was another pretty day. I ironed all evening. Mrs. Charles and Mrs. Johnson came. Mrs. Johnson and I went to WMU tonight. WMU is Women's Missionary Union, and that's at the Baptist church we attended. November the 10th, Dear Diary, today Minnie and I went to town and got Leon's Christmas present for Wanda to send to her in France. Nice sunny day. So Wanda's my younger sister, and she's drawn Leon's name. And Leon is my sister-in-law that has traveled to Bordeaux, France, not too many months ago, and so they bought her a Christmas present, and I wish I knew what it was. I visited Lee recently, and her granddaughter had told me she was really enjoying my little videos, and so I just want to say hello, Leon, and I hope you enjoy this one. And if you can remember what this Christmas present was that Wanda bought when she drew your name, tell me next time I see you. Dear Diary, today has been pretty. I went to Mrs. Johnson's this morning. Minnie Ruth came this evening. We done our washing and wrapped John and Leon's gifts. Mrs. Charles came. Dear Diary, today I cleaned house and went to a stork shower for Louise Watson. Had a good time. Still nice and warm. Now Louise is Leon's sister, so I remember when Louise had her two little girls, and I don't know if this was 1954, if it was her first one or her second one, but beautiful little red-headed girls, both of them were, and then she had a son later on. But this is Leon's sister, so I'm sure she was missing the being with her sister at her baby shower. November 13th, Dear Diary, today Elaine and I went to town, got her some shoes. Tonight we went to Calvary Baptist Church with the Johnsons. Saw the Billy Graham film. Odell came while we was gone. So I guess they saw the Billy Graham crusade film at the church. It used to be on television, but I'm assuming this was something they saw at the church, since the way she puts it in here. Dear Diary, today Charlie and I went to Love Funeral Home this morning to see Bill Patterson. Mama, Musa, and family, Willie and family came this evening. And Aunt Della, Uncle Art Clayton came too. Oh, I can't read the name, but it's Went and his wife. That's somebody they knew. I remember Uncle Art. That was my grandmother's brother, and he lived in the mountains in LJ near my grandmother, and so I visited his house once or twice that I can remember. November the 15th, Dear Diary, I went to Bill's funeral this evening. Mama and Wayne had supper with us. HD and Minnie came. We cut the girls' hair. Dear Diary, I have been ironing and mending some of the girls' dresses today. Been cloudy and warm. Charlie and I set out 2 dogwood trees and 1 oak tree. So she's mending our dresses. Now, we didn't get new clothes every year. We get them. Every now and then we get something new, but Mama would keep our clothes patched and mended and till we outgrew them, I guess. November 17th, Dear Diary. Today has been cloudy and raining. I ironed the rest of the clothes. Charlie is very undecided about a fruit stand. He said some unpleasant things to me. Got our garden turned. Now, my daddy's a pretty easygoing man, but sometimes he could be a little hateful and ugly, and apparently she may have been questioning him starting his fruit stand in the store or something, but so he said something ugly to her, and it bothered her enough that she wrote it in her diary, but she doesn't say what. And I'm glad. I wouldn't want to know. Dear Diary, today it rained some. Charlie went to town and bought, I can't even read this, to town. I stayed home and sewed some. Howard and Minnie came, had supper with us. And supper is our dinner meal. And if you hear her talk about dinner, That was our lunchtime. This is the South. Dear Diary, today I washed. Rained a while time I began to hang them out. So we'd hang clothes on the clothesline, so I'm sure she wasn't expecting rain or she wouldn't have been doing the washing, because that's the only way you had to dry your clothes was to hang them out. She got a letter from Beulah, that's her twin sister. Charlie got the money to start his fruit stand. I pray God will bless it. And he did bless it. It grew into become a nice little community store, and he added on to it several times, and it was started on our front porch. So she's recording the first beginnings of our store. 1954, and he sold it in 1967. November the 20th. Dear Diary, today Elaine and I ironed about all day. Been raining and cold. Howard Minnie came tonight. Charlie got some lumber to start his store. November the 21st. Dear Diary, the girls and I went to church this morning. I went to see Mrs. Richards and Mrs. Johnson. Cold and cloudy. Dear Diary, today has been a little warmer. Charlie started on the porch. So he's going to close in our front porch for the store. I have patched socks about all day. The girls went to GA meeting at Pat Hanna's. And she's talking about mending and patching the whole family's socks, so we didn't get new socks either. They got fixed and we wore them until they couldn't be patched, I guess. Passed down as we got older and the younger kids would get them. And GA is Girls Auxiliary, which is part of our Baptist church that we attended. And we had the meeting at Pat Hanna's house. Now, Pat was my brother's age, so I'm sure she was probably leading the GA auxiliary at that time, and she just had the meeting at her house. And I remember one time Mama hosted at our house, and she baked cakes to feed all us girls. Your diary has been fair and cold. Howard Minnie came, and we watched TV a while. Normally and Tate came this evening. Elaine went to a GA meeting at Nandy Brown's house. And Nandy Brown is my sister-in-law Lillian's aunt. So we knew all of her family. They all lived in the same neighborhood. So Elaine is in an older group of GA, so she's gone to a different meeting than me and my younger sister went to. November the 24th, dear diary, today has been right pretty. Minnie Ruth and I done our washing. The girls got out of school at 1 for Thanksgiving. November the 25th, dear diary, today we ironed some. I baked a cake. Vicki and Treadwell and Diane Long came. Mrs. Johnson, Mr. Johnson helped Charlie today. Charlie's my daddy, and Mr. Johnson, the next door neighbors, helping him with his build his store. November the 26th, dear diary, Elaine and I ironed some. Then I painted the store floor and part of the outside, partly cloudy and cold. November the 29th, dear diary, today I painted part of the outside of the store and cleaned house. We went to Mr. Johnson's for prayer meeting tonight. This is the last day I'm going to read. It's November the 30th. Dear diary, today I finished the outside painting and the inside. Mrs. Johnson came a while this morning. Been a clear, cold day. So that's November 1954 in the life of a 44-year-old woman in the rural South with a husband that's just decided he's going to start a little grocery store. And he's boxed in our front porch. We just had a very small little 2-bedroom living room, kitchen, house. And in previous readings, in 54, he's added our first indoor bathroom. We had inside running water in the kitchen, but we didn't have indoor plumbing until 1954. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Times have changed a lot, and I'm really excited when I read about my mother's life. And I know she had it hard, but she never complained a lot, and people loved her. I mean, she was good. I don't think she had an enemy in the world, and people were always coming to visit us, and so they must have loved my mother and my daddy a whole lot. I know I visited with my sister-in-law Leanne recently, and she was talking about how much she loved my mother, and I told her, I said, well, I knew my mother loved her and my other sister-in-law, Minnie, too, because she writes about them so much in her diary. And in previous readings, I've talked about her hoping she'd get a letter from Leon. She didn't say John Henry, my brother, should say Leon. And I thought that was sort of funny. I mean, of course, she loved her boys, too, but I guess she knew Leon would be the one doing the writing and would tell her what was going on there. So I'll try to read December next, and I hope you've enjoyed this. And I'm going to reach over here and turn this off, and have a beautiful day. And again, my name's Betty, if I didn't say that at the beginning. Thank you.